I'm Joan, and this is Joan's Pointed Plate. Today is a three-way collaboration video between myself, Carrie over at Weight Watchers with Carrie, and Sandy over at Let's Get Fit with Sandy. This video, this collaboration, is about building a meal. In the new books that were given out by WW about the 3 new plans, each plan was discussed in the book, and there were sections that explained about building a meal, especially using 0-point foods. So Carrie thought it would be a great idea for each of us to take one of the colors, whatever color plan we are doing, and build a meal. Basically, the concept is you start with a 0-point food, then you add in your protein, and then you add in seasonings, something for taste, something for punch, and then you add in a healthy fat. So for my meal, I am blue, by the way. My plan is blue, Carrie is green, and Sandy is purple. So for my meal, I started with 0-point food, which was butternut squash. I added in my protein, which was salmon. I added in my seasonings, my flavor, which is blackened seasoning for the salmon. And then I added in my healthy fat, which is a horseradish butter to put on the butternut squash. So my dinner on the blue plan, which was incredible, my husband said totally restaurant worthy, was only 3 points. 1 point for the salmon because I cooked it in a tablespoon of oil. Now granted, that was 4 pieces of salmon cooked in a tablespoon of oil. So when you have 4 servings and 4 points worth of oil, it only comes down to 1 point. Did I really get a whole point's worth? I'm not sure, but I'm counting it anyway. And then the horseradish butter, for a tablespoon of that, was 2 points because I used the light butter. So what a great concept, what a great idea Carrie had to show you how to do this. And honestly, a restaurant quality meal, says my husband, for 3 points. Can't beat it. I did intend to add a green veggie in, and I was so engrossed in making dinner and filming that I forgot to cook the green beans. So no big deal, but you could easily throw another veg in there, throw a side salad, or something. Or if you wanted to spend some points, throw in some rice, throw in a sweet potato. Well, not with the squash. Throw in something and easily add a few more points to a 3-point dinner. So without further ado, and I've chatted long enough, let's get started on making the blackened salmon and butternut squash with horseradish butter. So the first thing we have to do is we have to get our butternut squash roasting. So the way I do it, I just peel it first, just with a regular potato peeler. So my phone rang and interrupted the video. So like I said, not sure where I got interrupted. I'm just gonna peel this with my peeler till all the peel is off. You don't really need to see me do this on camera, but I hate to stop it again. But I will because it's getting monotonous. Okay, it's all peeled, and just in case you've never worked with a butternut squash, I'll just show you what you do. I cut off both ends. Then I cut it in the middle because it just makes it easier to work with. And then in half again. And the top part has no seeds in it, but the bottom part is where all the seeds are. So I just take a large spoon, my trash bowl. It's a little trick I learned from Rachel Ray. She always has a trash bowl, and it really keeps your counter clean and your work surface neat, work area neat. Then you just scrape the seeds out and the stringy pulp. That's all there is to it. And then I'm just going to chunk it up. I'm going to put it on a baking sheet. I'm going to toss it with a little bit of olive oil. Now, if you want to just spray it, you can do that. But I don't use much olive oil, maybe a teaspoon or so. And we all need those healthy oils in our body. So that's how I get mine in, is through using the olive oil to roast vegetables. And honestly, if I'm using a teaspoon, heck, if I'm using 2 teaspoons and sharing this with other people, I'm really not counting it, because we need those healthy oils. So just gonna toss it with some olive oil, chunk it up, toss it with olive oil, salt and pepper, and we're gonna roast that up. Now, I am only making this for my husband and myself because we're the only ones that are going to be home tonight eating it. You can certainly make more than 1 butternut squash. You know, make as many as you want. It's roasting 1 or roasting 3 of them. It's gonna be the same oven temperature and the same amount of time. I roast it at 400 degrees, probably about 35 to 45 minutes. I like mine very tender, so it really depends. I just check it, but I allow 45 minutes for it. So like this will go in before everything else starts getting cooked. So I'm gonna get this ready, and then we're gonna get our salmon ready. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to prepare the salmon. I have 4 salmon fillets. They're anywhere between 5 and 6 ounces each. It depends on the piece. So I would definitely weigh them if you're on the green plan. If you're on the purple or blue, you don't need to worry about that because they're 0 on those plans. And this is building a meal on the blue plan, so 0. In here we have our blackened seasoning. It is 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of sweet paprika, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and then the original recipe calls for 3/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I'm a spice wimp, so this is about maybe 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And I am just going to give them a good mix so they're really, really well mixed and combined. Now you can do this one of 2 ways. You can dump this into like a shallow dish, like a pie pan, and you can press the flesh side of the salmon down into it to coat it, or I'm choosing to do the sprinkle on method. So I just think I can control better the amount that's on there. I'd be afraid like with the first 1 or 2, I would suck up all the seasoning. This way I can kind of distribute it evenly. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my fingers, spread it out, and press it down onto each piece of salmon. And that's all there is to it. And we just have to get our skillet nice and hot and get started cooking it. To show you the squash. There's the squash ready to go in the oven. That will go in, of course, before we start cooking the salmon. This takes, like I said, about 45 minutes for my liking. So when this has about 35 minutes to go, I'm going to start cooking the salmon. The salmon can take anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes, depending on how well done you like your salmon. So that's going to go in the oven now. And then in about 30-35 minutes, we'll get started on the salmon. And in the meantime, we'll get the horseradish butter made. To do the horseradish butter, I'm halving everything. So I have 1/4 cup of light butter in the pan. I let it melt and I let it get hot. To that, I'm gonna add some garlic. I don't measure my garlic. And I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of horseradish, just regular prepared horseradish. I'm gonna mix it up. And I'm going to use a bigger whisk because I'm burning myself. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. And I am going to let that cook for a minute until everything is combined. Heat it through and the flavors have a chance to blend. And then I'll just keep this warm on a back burner on my warmer until we are ready to assemble dinner. Time to get the salmon going. I have 1 tablespoon of oil that's heated up in the pan. And I'm going to take our prepared salmon fillets and put them skin side up into the hot pan. I don't want to crowd it, so I may have to do this in batches. I'm going to let these cook for about 3 minutes until the seasonings get blackened. And then we will flip them and continue to cook them. Okay, after 3 minutes, I flipped them over and it definitely did get blackened like it's supposed to. So now I'm gonna let them cook about 6 more minutes on the skin side, and I turned it down to like a 2.5, 3. These two are super duper thick. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to turn them on their sides to get the inside cooked to my liking because of how thick they are. The other two are very thin, so we'll have to wait and see. But I will use an instant read meat thermometer, and I like my salmon done to about 130, 133. So that's the best and the most definitive way to figure out if they're done. So here is what the salmon looks like right out of the pan. It looks absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to try it. Just hope I didn't put too much cayenne in it, because you know I'm a spice wimp. And here it is plated up. So this is how we built the meal as per the new WW guidebook. Started with 0 point food, which was the butternut squash. Added in my protein, which was the salmon. Added in some spices, some seasoning, some flavoring, which was the blackened seasoning. And then added in a fat, which is the horseradish butter. So this is the build a meal plan on the build a meal on the blue plan. The salmon is 1 point for the oil that it was cooked in. The butternut squash is 0. And the horseradish butter is 2 points for 1 tablespoon. And that is what I put on there. So this entire dinner is 3 freestyle blue smart points. So there you have it. That dinner was so good. It was really delicious. I enjoyed it. And like I said, I cut the cayenne pepper back because I'm a spice wimp. I could have easily added more because there really wasn't a kick to it. So I would probably add I probably added about 1/8 of a teaspoon. I would bump it up to 1/4 to a little bit more than 1/4 next time. And like I said, I'm a spice wimp. But it was really delicious, and for 3 points, can't beat it. So thank you so much, Carrie, for asking me to do this with you and Sandy. I thought it was a lot of fun, and who knows, maybe we can do it again. I will link the recipe down below to the blackened salmon and also to the butternut squash. And I will also link Sandy's channel and Carrie's channel down below. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've never been to my channel, please take a look around and check out my other videos. I do cook with me. I do grocery hauls and menu plan every Friday. Cook with me several times a week, and full day of eating several times a week. And I also do meeting highlights on Wednesday. So take a look around. If you like what you see, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and you will know every time I upload a video. So give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and leave me a comment below and let me know if this is something you think you would make. Let me know also what plan you're on. So have a great night, everyone, and thanks again for watching.